Hello, everyone, and welcome to Transfer Spotlights, our video series highlighting the people, programs, and everything else that makes UMass great, with a specific focus on need-to-know information for transfer students. Today, we will be discussing the International Programs Office with AJ LeBlanc. AJ, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
The first question I kind of wanted to go over was, what kinds of study abroad programs are available to students at UMass?
Sure. So we offer in a normal year around 300 programs. They run from short-term faculty taught, that might be 1 or 2 weeks to a full semester. We have summer and winter session programs, as well as semester and academic year. And then we offer a variety of experiences as well. So some students want UMass abroad, and we can do that. So traditional classroom settings with other UMass students, other American students. And then some students might want to be the only American on that campus. They want to be the international student with host country students, and we can do that as well. And then we have programs that are a mix. So you'd be taking classes with other American students, and then you'd be taking classes with host country students and other international students. So it's really up to every individual student to decide what they want that experience to look like.
That sounds fantastic. The big question that we get after that, usually when we're talking about study abroad from transfer students, is are transfer students eligible to study study abroad?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if that's the case, what's the timeline for a transfer student who's looking to participate?
So because transfer students have a GPA from their previous schools, they can start applying their very first semester, and they can go abroad as early as their second semester at UMass. Depending on how many credits a transfer student comes in with, and then what their plan is for how long they want to take to get to graduation, that helps decide what their options will be. So the students coming in as a junior, they might not have as many options because they're going to have specific academics that they have to get done, whereas sophomores might have a few more options. We do have some students who will push back their graduation date because they want to go abroad. But they can definitely go. So all students need to start with their academic advisors to map their semesters. So what classes do they need to take to get to graduation, and what's their graduation plan? How many semesters would they like to take to get to graduation? Once they know that, they can talk about what classes that they have to take at UMass. There's certain classes like junior year writing and the integrative experience that you have to take here, but different majors and colleges might have requirements. What's great about going abroad is the classes count as residency credits, which I know some transfer students are worried that they're not going to have enough, but because they're approved UMass programs, they can attend. And then if they can't quite figure out how to make it work for a semester, that's when we'll look at summer and winter programs.
Okay. In addition to whether or not they can do it and sort of the timeline, something I've been asking in all these different spotlights is, are there any things that transfer students tend not to be aware of about, in this case, study abroad, and that you would want them to be prepared for?
Yeah, so the biggest one is financial aid. And this is I think a common myth for all students, is that you can use your financial aid to go abroad. So because they're approved UMass students, they're still active in Spire while they're abroad. So their financial aid, loans, scholarships, grants, anything that they get. There's a few exceptions for like tuition credits like the John and Abigail Adams or work study, but everything else goes with you. So students can use that financial aid to help pay. And then there's also plenty of scholarships that students can apply for. So going abroad can be very affordable. If students are looking at large cities like London or Sydney, or anywhere that the exchange rate isn't in our favor, that's probably going to cost more than a semester at UMass. But then we also have programs that are very, very budget friendly. We had a student last semester that her program was completely paid for with her financial aid, including her food, her housing, and she ended up being able to pay for her flight. So she saved money going abroad and even had some money left over for personal travel that she wanted to do.
That sounds amazing. So finally, I think, is there anything else topics wise that you'd like to cover before we end?
Yeah, so students also have access to different types of programs if they're interested in internships, field studies, research. So we encourage students to just think about what they want UMass to look like and just what they want their experience to be, and then come talk to us and see if they can have a global experience with that. So if they plan on doing an internship, do they want to do that internship abroad? If there's a subject that they're really interested in, if there's research happening in the world right now, can they go to that country and do it with those professors, with those researchers? So we encourage students to come see us soon, especially if they're hoping to graduate in 3 or 4 semesters, so we can help them make that plan and see how we can get it to fit in with their UMass experience.
Awesome. So that's all of my big questions. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over, like things during COVID time or anything
Yeah,
like that?
so we have a full-time director of international health, safety, and security, and she, pre-COVID, monitors all of our sites for risk management. So we never send students abroad if it's not safe. So during COVID, it's been a little bit more challenging, but for the fall 20 semester, we do have students abroad, and we plan on sending more students in the spring. So she has access to national and international data and is making solid data-driven decisions. We're not relying on what people think is happening or might happen. She's talking to our partners in country and watching, daily sometimes, to make decisions. So we're talking to students about backup plans. So we have certain sites right now that are suspended because the cases are just too high. But then we'll have other countries that we're feeling good, but if case rates start climbing, we'll reach out to students and talk about backup plans, other locations, potentially deferring to another term. So we don't want anyone to be surprised. Students need to know what their plans are for their next semester. So we're gonna stay in touch with them. We're gonna update them as soon as they know. But even in a non-COVID year, we want students to know that they are still UMass students when they are abroad. We are here to help and support them, and we want them to be safe, and we want them to get to graduation.